It is the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. We're here every single day from 5 to 6 talking about the local issues that matter to you most and taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. We take your emails as well at randykabc@gmail.com. That's randykabc@gmail.com. It is Friday, which means it is happy hour here on the News Blitz. We do Monday through Thursday. We tackle the local issues. We make sure you know what's going on in Southern California. But on Fridays, we like to have a little fun. We like to talk a little food, a little drink, a little adventure, a little travel. And today is going to be a very special happy hour Friday because it's time to pop those corks. Yesterday was National Wine and Cheese Day, the national celebration of the pairing of wine and cheese. And so we are going to talk quite a bit about wine today because over the past 10 years, thanks to my wonderful wife, I have accumulated a little bit of knowledge on the topic of wine, and I'm happy to share it with you as I am going to tell you all about the beautiful region of the Santa Ynez Valley in Santa Barbara County, the most beautiful vacation you could have 2 hours north of Los Angeles. But before we get to Santa Ynez Valley, before we get to all the wonderful Pinot Noir that is up in what my father-in-law calls ground zero for Pinot Noir, can I give you a cheese recommendation? Okay. This cheese goes with a lot of wine, but especially like a red blend, like a Grenache Syrah Mourvedre, a GSM blend, or a dark red. It is a crazy good wine cheese, and you should know just from the label. It's at Trader Joe's, and it is called their Toscana Soaked in Syrah. It's got a purple rind. We call it the wine cheese. It is so good. Have it at your next charcuterie night. It is going to be a huge hit. Whether you have it with wine or not, it is a winner. While you're there, if you happen to see any Manchego Añejo, get some of that. Pair that with a Spanish wine. That's always a winner. Also, very good on its own. Trader Joe's has a fantastic cheese section. Now, Gelson's has a great cheese section as well, and some other markets do. Gelson's has a brand that sometimes has a Syrah-soaked cheese. I think it's called something else, or they have a Merlot-soaked cheese. But oh my goodness. Wine-soaked cheeses are something that's very easy to pair with wine. It's right there in the name. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about my love affair with wine because it's not something that I started my life off with. In fact, from ages 21 through 27, I knew absolutely nothing about wine. I knew that I didn't think I liked it because at that time, the only wines that I had were Beringer White Zinfandel and Beringer White Merlot, and I would get some kind of $6 Italian bubbles. I forget what it was called. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. What was that? Red Spumante. Oh, gosh, all these things. Just thinking about the wine that I would drink in my early 20s because I didn't know any better would give me a headache. At one point, I got into plum wine, which is just Asian dessert wine. So when I met my wife, I knew nothing. And a few weeks into us getting together, she invited me on a wine trip with about a dozen of her friends as we went up to Santa Barbara County, and we got to experience all the incredible wines that are in the Santa Ynez Valley, which, a lot of you who may remember the film might know this was the wine region that was featured in the film Sideways. And while the region existed before the movie, it's gotten a lot bigger after the movie, and it's also just a fantastic movie. It actually inspired my father-in-law to give the region a visit in 2009, and that's how my wife and my father-in-law got into it. And, well, through them, I have learned quite a bit. Now, this region is gorgeous. The climate is pretty temperate throughout most of the year. It can get a little hot in the middle of summer, although it's the middle of summer right now, and we're going up this weekend for the Fiddlehead Party, and it's going to be like in the high 70s. It's going to be lovely. It's interesting. It is one of the only east-west valleys in this hemisphere, and that allows the weather to get cooler at night, have that fog in the morning, because Pinot Noir is a very difficult grape to grow. But I don't need to give you into all that. We don't need to get into horticulture here. I'm just going to tell you about some great wineries that I like. I'm going to tell you about some great restaurants that I like up there. And whether you want to go up to learn about wine, you already like wine, I'm going to give you some suggestions, or you just want a fun place to get away, because inside San Ynez Valley is Solvang. And even if you don't care about wine, you need to go to Solvang, because Solvang is cute. Solvang is one of the cutest towns there is. I mean, I think I'd pick Carmel over Solvang at this point, but Solvang is really, really cute. Solvang is a fun place to go on a weekend. The whole region is, and I highly recommend it year-round. It's great all year long. We like to go in the winter. We like to go in the spring and the summer. Right now, it's just getting close to harvest season, so the vines will be in full effect. And if you'd like to contribute, if you happen to have a winery up in the Santa Barbara County region that you have a shout out for, that you really like, because I don't know everything. There's like 200 up there. I've explored maybe 30. You can give me a call at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Restaurant recommendations also totally welcome. But let me tell you first where you're going. You need to go up the 101 freeway. You're going to go through the valley, up through Ventura County, that point where in between Ventura and Santa Barbara, it gets down to 2 lanes because there's this stretch of the 101 freeway that's been under construction for what it seems like our entire lives. And then you get to Santa Barbara. Feel free to stop in Santa Barbara, because Santa Barbara is gorgeous. And if we all could afford to live there, we would. But Santa Barbara also has a ton of tasting rooms, and it's fun to walk around there. And some of the wineries that I'll be talking about, they have some tasting rooms in Santa Barbara. There's one that I really like that's in Santa Barbara, and they don't have a tasting room in the San Ynez Valley, and that's Jaffers. Jaffers is a great place for Syrah. I'm just going to write that down, think about it later. But about an hour north of hitting Santa Barbara proper, you will be going along the coast, past the little beaches, Refugio and El Capitan, and eventually the 101 turns inward, and you go through a tunnel. And that's usually when we turn the Sideways soundtrack on our radio, and we get into the San Ynez Valley. We get past Santa Rosa Road, and the first place we get to is Buellton. And whether you're a wine person or not, there's plenty of people in this audience that grew up traveling through the 101 freeway, stopping in Buellton for Anderson's Pea Soup. And I'm sad to say, Anderson's Pea Soup is no more. They closed their doors earlier this year. There's still another location on the 5 freeway somewhere, but they're gone. That being said, there's still some great places to visit in Buellton proper. If you happen to get off the 101 freeway and you head east, you will quickly hit the legendary restaurant, The Hitching Post. And if it's lunchtime, guess what? Right next to the Hitching Post is a property they own that is now the Hitching Post Burger Stand and the Hitching Post Tasting Room. That's the first tasting room I want to tell you about, because it is a great place to have lunch and get a couple tastings. Hitching Post not only has been this incredible restaurant for a very long time, Hitching Post 2 to be specific, because there's a different one up further inland, but this place was the one featured in the movie, and they have some great Pinot Noir that they make. They source from some of the best vineyards in the San Ynez Valley, including Fiddlesticks, where Fiddlehead is from. And they have great, reasonably priced Pinot Noirs. They've got really great premium Pinot Noirs, and they have other stuff as well. But I mostly like their Pinot, although when we go to the restaurant, I also like their Syrah, and they have a red blend. They even make a Merlot that is very, very, very nice. So taste what you can. In fact, do the tasting while you order from the burger stand. Their burgers are incredible. Their fries are perfect. That twice fried, crispy feeling, oh, they're incredible. And I really like the burger, but if I had to choose, I picked the tri-tip sandwich. They have an incredible steak sandwich. I'm a big fan. You got to go for it. If you're coming for dinner to the restaurant proper, you probably want to make reservations. It does get busy, but that is... when I think about a steakhouse, that is my steakhouse. That place is so special to me and my wife. It's Really, really an experience, especially if they have the 26-ounce Angus rib chop on there. The Angus rib chop is a massive steak with a big old bone. It'll take an hour to cook it properly. You cannot eat it on your own. You've got to have a steak buddy. It's pretty darn great. Also, while you're in the Buellton area, if you go the other direction and you go west towards Lompoc on Route 246, right before you get out of town on Industrial Way, there's a great little lunch spot called Industrial Eats. They've got great sandwiches, salads, pizza. We just found out they also have gluten-free pizza. And they have a smoked pheasant salad, which is... there's nothing like it. It's pretty darn incredible. There used to be a lot of tasting room there right now, but really there isn't. There is a Figueroa Mountain Brewing Company, so if you like beer, there's a few of those locations all spread out through the San Ynez Valley. I've got a ton of recommendations to give you here. A lot of wineries that my wife has taken me to over the years, some that we've been members of, some that we are currently members of. I'm going to give you my recommendations, but I also want to take yours. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222, as we talk about some of the tasting rooms and wine and fun things to do in the San Ynez Valley in Santa Barbara County. 800-222-KABC. Let's start with Mike in Long Beach. Mike, hello.
Hello. San Ynez is awesome. I love the place. Sunstone Winery is one of my favorites. They've got a great Cabernet Sauvignon. I recommend grabbing a bottle of wine, stop by Copenhagen Street, grab yourself a deli sandwich from one of the local bakeries there, head on down to Nohokui Falls and make a day of it and have a picnic. Great place.
That sounds like a fantastic day. And Sunstone is a winery I don't know, so I got to add that to my list. And the next time I go up there, I got to try Sunstone.
It is awesome. You'll love it.
Thanks so much for the recommendation, Mike. Appreciate it. It's such a beautiful area. And we've been a few times, we've been plenty of times when the state was in a drought. But the last couple of years where there's been a lot of these winter rains and you go in the springtime, you see these beautiful green rolling hills. You feel like you're in Europe. It is a magical place. There is so much beauty in this state. And just driving around the different spots in the San Ynez Valley, it's just really, really, really pretty. So we're in Buellton on the 101 freeway. Let's see, what do we want to do first? First, why don't I tell you what happens if you go north? If you go north, there is an exit that'll take you at Zaca Station Road. It's the route to Los Olivos, which is the cutest little town. There's a lot of cute little towns in San Ynez Valley. But before we go to Los Olivos, we're actually going to take Foxen Canyon Road, this long, long road that will take you to a point where you're not going to have any cell reception. It's actually driving you towards the edge of the San Ynez Valley and the Santa Maria Valley. But near the end of Foxen Canyon Road, you're going to find Foxen. Foxen has been around since 1985. Bill and Dick have been making wines there for a very, very, very long time. My wife and I are members at Foxen, and there are two different Foxen properties. There's the regular Foxen tasting room where they have excellent Pinot Noir. And what's fun is they have two different blends. One is of all San Ynez Valley grapes, and one is the neighboring Santa Maria Valley grapes. So you can see how the different climates affect the same grape. They've also got some great barrel select and vineyard-specific Pinot Noirs. They have really good Chardonnay. They have really good Syrah. That being said, if you go just a little bit further up the road, you get to the Foxen Shack. And the Foxen Shack, I have fallen in love with. Also, Foxen Shack, great places to have a picnic. Having a picnic is essential. Loading up your cooler with a bunch of cheese, a bunch of crackers, because you're going to be having wine. And a lot of places are very picnic friendly. Not all the places are, but a lot of places are. Foxen is. We've picnicked there before. So right up the road from the regular Foxen is the Foxen Shack, which was the original Foxen. It's this cute little shack where they get a little more experimental, where they've got cabs, they've got Merlots, they've got Italian blends, they've got Petit Verdot and Merlot blends, and they have a few of our favorite wines that we're pretty obsessed with that when we go up this weekend, we're getting at least a case of. One is the Guillermo Grosso. Their Guillermo Grosso, it's a Sangiovese, which is an Italian grape, like what you would have in a Brunello, but it's Brunello is a region, but it's the Sangiovese grape, and they mix that with a little Cab Sauv. They also have the Volpino, which is Sangiovese mixed with a little Merlot. They are both really great. It's kind of our go-to at home whenever we're having pizza, whenever we're having pasta. You open up a Guillermo Grosso. The price points on them are very good. Now, I think the Guillermo might be wine club only, but if they ever have specials, it's worth looking into. But, oh, my goodness, I love the Foxen Shack. I love everything at Foxen. That's why we joined at Foxen. But when we come back, we're going to get out of Foxen Canyon Road, and we're going to go just a little north of Buellton and take you to Los Olivos as we go through a little wine adventure, telling you about some of the places that I have enjoyed over the last decade in the San Ynez Valley. I'm excited. I'm going up this weekend, so I'd like to revel in it. If you have any suggestions for spots, wineries, restaurants, things to do in Santa Barbara County, the San Ynez Valley, give me a call at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. If not, why don't you pop open a bottle, maybe grab some cheese, sit back, and we're all going to revel in how great wine can be and the beautiful present of the state that is the California wine regions, including this little one that is 2 hours north of LA. 800-222-KABC. It is a happy hour Friday. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang. We're just getting started. Talk Radio 790 KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. If you'd like to email us, you can always do so at randykabc@gmail.com. That's randykabc@gmail.com. Lane writes in and says, don't forget about the ostriches and short hike to the waterfall, and the back route through San Marcos Pass is gorgeous as you pass the casino. Oh, yes. Right next to the hitching post is, I think it's Ostrichville, USA. It's the big ostrich farm. You can do a tour. You can look at the ostriches. In fact, if you're having your burgers at the burger bar in the tasting room, you can look at the ostriches while you enjoy yourself. So that's a lot of fun. And yeah, Chumash Casino is right around there, right a little past Solvang near San Ynez. I've never been myself because I'm not that much of a gambler, but I hear it's a great casino. So yes, there are a lot of things to do in the San Ynez Valley. Hey, as a little thank you from us to you, the KABC listener, I got a little prize for you. 790 KABC welcomes Chris Lane to the Pacific Amphitheater on August 14th. Tickets are on sale now, but right now, caller number 9 at 1-888-790-5222 gets a pair of tickets to the show. Tickets furnished by the Pacific Amphitheater. Good luck dialing. It is happy hour. It is the News Blitz with Randy Wang. We are talking about the wines in the San Ynez Valley. And San Ynez Valley is mostly known for Pinot Noir. They also do a lot of Chardonnay, some Sauv Blanc, but Pinot Noir seems to be the real jewel of the San Ynez Valley. And if you don't know if you like Pinot Noir, you might not have had a good Pinot Noir. You know, and you don't have to go crazy with the spending. You know, something that's a little more than $40 price point, you're going to have a really nice bottle. If you don't know what to pair with Pinot Noir goes great with chicken, goes great with fish. We have it with salmon every single Wednesday, goes great with pork. Some Pinot Noirs are a lot bigger in the San Ynez Valley, and they can go with a little more flavor, but it's also a great wine to drink on its own. We like to have it while we're playing trivia on Wednesdays, while we're cooking another meal. It is a great wine, but there's also some great red blends we're going to talk about as well. So if you know nothing about wine, I'll tell you about some great table wines that pretty much go with everything, because that is a great intro to wine right there. But when we come back, as we're exploring the Santa Ynez Valley in Santa Barbara County, we're going to go to the little town of Los Olivos. I'm going to tell you about some of the great spots over there. A cutest little town. You just got to walk around and enjoy yourself. We'll be going to Solvang, Los Alamos, and Santa Ynez proper. We'll be exploring all of this in the next half hour. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. It is the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. We're here every single day from 5 to 6 talking about the local issues that matter to you most and taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Your emails as well at randykabc@gmail.com. That's randykabc@gmail.com. It is Friday. It is happy hour, and since I'm going up to wine country this weekend, I'm telling you all about some of the places that we usually like to hit in the San Ynez Valley, 2 hours north of Los Angeles. in beautiful Santa Barbara County. If you'd like to add to the list, you've got a suggestion for a winery up there, give me a call at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Otherwise, sit back and relax, and I'm going to tell you about some of the great spots to enjoy. Even if you're not a wine person, there's so many fun things to look at, including if you go just a little north of Buellton, you'll get off the road that takes you all the way to Los Olivos. You can actually take the back way through Route 154 to get to Los Olivos as well. And Los Olivos is a small little town that has, you just walk through the neighborhoods. It's so quiet. It's so beautiful out there. But they also have a ton of tasting rooms. And most of my favorites now are not on the main street. They're one street behind. And I got to first start off with a place called Storm. Storm, started by this guy, Ernst Storm, who I've met. I've actually interviewed him on a wine podcast before. He's from South Africa, and he used to just only make his wine available to restaurants. Opened his tasting room about 2 years ago, like right after the start of COVID. And this guy knows what he's doing with Pinot Noir. Really incredible. Even more exciting than that, he has what might be my favorite Sauvignon Blanc, especially for the price point. And if you don't know what to do with Sauv Blanc outside of just drink it when it's chilled because it's nice outside on a summer day, Sauv Blanc pairs really well with like spicy Asian flavors. So if we're doing Thai food, Sauv Blanc, especially like a larb salad. Ooh, we got to do a Thai night here on the Happy Hour show. We'll do that at some point. He also does some really good red blends. He does this one that's kind of like a GSM, Grenache Syrah Mourvedre blend, a good table wine that goes with anything. He also, because he's South African, he imports some grapes from his brother in South Africa and makes a South African Syrah. But Storm is great. He's a lovely guy, and you can't go wrong there. And then if you go right next door, he also helps make the wine for this place called Donica. And Donica is also a brand new tasting room. And they have some varietals you might not be used to up there, like Rosé of Syrah and Gamay. I'm just learning about Gamay. Gamay is interesting because it goes with a lot of different things. You go across the street, there's a place called Future Perfect. It is a gorgeous little tasting room. It is woman-owned, and they have ridiculously good rosé. It is a place the locals all know. It's fun to hang out there. Their rosés are really, really great. In fact, we ordered some when they had a sale. It's a good thing to get on the mailing list of a lot of these places for when the sales come up. If you go a little further down the road, you're going to find the Los Olivos tasting room for one of our favorites, Marjoram. Marjoram is a place that I've been familiar with for maybe like 8 or 9 years now. Marjoram is great. My neighbors actually became members there a very long time ago when they had a tasting room in Buellton in the Industrial Way place. And Marjoram is home to the M5. M5 is it's like a Chateauneuf de Pop red blend. It's Grenache, Syrah, Mourvedre, and then 2 other grapes, Cinsault and Counois. That doesn't matter. It's a 5-grape blend that goes with everything. By the way, they sell this wine at Total Wine. They sell it at Whole Foods, and they even sell it at Gelson. So really easy to pick up a bottle of Marjoram M5. Price point's usually $30, a little less. Worth every penny. It goes great with pizza, goes great with burgers, goes great with barbecue. If you don't know if you like wine, Marjoram M5 goes great with everything. They also do a bunch of other stuff. They do some nice Pinots. They do some nice straight-up Grenaches. They do Sauvignon Blanc. They do some great Riviera Rosé and some white blends as well. Marjoram is a really good time. They're a lot of fun. They also happen to have a tasting room in Santa Barbara proper. So if you're coming back from wine country, they got a great tasting room out there, I believe, on California Street. Let's go to Rose in Santa Clarita. Rose, hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can.
Hello. Oh, good. Okay. 2 places I want to mention to you. It's in Los Olivos. We are a member of a wine tasting room called Arthur Earl. They have all of my husband and I tend to like red wines. So we actually love their Syrah and all of the anything that's red, the cabs, they have the best. And also Beckman, which is also located in Los Olivos. They also have very good Syrah over there. So those are the 2 places that we love. we are a member of Arthur Earl. And then the restaurant, the steak restaurant that we went to a few months ago, first time we discovered this place, because we were asking about the hitching post, but when we went to Los Olivos, they said, why don't you try this place too? Because hitching post has become so popular because of the Sideways, the movie. So we tried this place called Brothers at Red Barn. It's actually located in Santa Ynez. Great steak. My husband had the steak, which was absolutely delicious, and I had the prime rib, and it's the best prime rib I've ever tasted. That's it.
Oh, I will agree with you on that, Rose. So it's actually on my list. I got turned on to Brothers Red Barn a couple of years ago from the guy who runs the Consumable Art Los Olivos wine merchant shop. That's where he likes to get his dinner, and that is one of the best restaurants I've ever been to. I really like the Scottish salmon. It's like horseradish dill crusted. That place is incredible.
It is. It is. In fact, we were deciding whether to get the salmon or the steak, and I think we were going to get the salmon. And I think, that's what it was. They actually ran out of the salmon because it was so popular. Can you believe it? And this was at 6:00 in the evening. Unbelievable. So they said it was really one of the best too. So I was like laughing, but then I said, you know what? I saw the prime rib, and I go, oh my gosh, I got to try their prime rib, and so it was really good. I love.
All right, next time I'm up there,
I love Santa Ynez.
I love that whole area. It's just so beautiful. Our blood pressure goes down as soon as we get up there.
Oh, same here. Same here. It doesn't matter which time of the year we go to. It's really just lovely. It's just really lovely.
Well, thank you so much for the suggestions. Arthur Earl and Beckman. I've been to Beckman. I have not been to Arthur Earl, so I'm going to have to check that out the next time I'm up in Los Olivos. Rose, you have a wonderful weekend.
You too. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. Oh, Arthur Earl, Rhone and Italian varietals. I love Italian varietals, which also reminds me, how could I forget to mention, in Buellton, there is, this is a tip beyond a tip, because not a lot of people know about this guy. It is one of the best wineries there is out there. It is all Italian wine. It is a place called Section Wines. And this guy, Marco, it's very small. You're only in the know if you know. And I'm telling you right now, this guy is from Italy. He makes Italian wine with California grapes, and they are phenomenal. Section Wines in Buellton. You will love it. And by the way, that's right near where we usually stay. Easiest place to stay is, like, if you're central to everything, is in Buellton. We like the Hampton Inn. The Hampton Inn in Buellton is usually really cheap, and it's local to everything. And you can drive, you can Uber. There's lots of options. You can even walk to the hitching post from there. The hotel, the motel, the Days Inn where Sideways was shot is actually now called the Sideways Inn, and that's a cute little hotel too. You can always stay there. Let's get back to the phones as we get to more recommendations. Tanya in Montebello. Tanya, hello.
Hi, Randy.
Hi.
I'm calling from Montebello. Hello. Thank you so much for your show. We love Los Olivos. We've been visiting the area up there since 2020, and I just wanted to bring up two spots we've recently discovered. One is the Claremont Lavender Farms in Los Olivos, and it's a beautiful free area to stop and visit. You can walk around the lavender farms. And the proprietor has picnic tables, so you can bring your own wine and crackers and things to eat. And then he also makes his own lavender goods, like soaps and body care. There's even lavender lemonade. Just a beautiful area.
Oh, wow. That sounds like so much fun.
Yes, a gorgeous area. And it's not too far from the main little street in Los Olivos. And another spot that we love that we just found in Santa Ynez town was Longhorn Coffee Shop. And it's a family business, little cute breakfast and lunch spot. And everyone that works there is locals and just so quaint. And they've got John Wayne memorabilia all over the walls. Just love it.
Oh, that looks wonderful. I might have to get breakfast there when we're out there this weekend. That looks so great. Tanya, those are incredible recommendations. Thank you so much for calling in.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Oh, I love this audience. I'm learning so much. See, there's so many places. Let me finish the places that I like in Los Olivos. There's the Los Olivos Wine Merchant, which is this guy that sources a whole bunch of small wineries. He's a lot of fun. Liquid Farm is a good time. Great Pinot Noir, great Chardonnay. And there's this little grocery store in the middle of town called Our Country Market. They're usually cooking tri-tip all day long. Fantastic place to get a tri-tip sandwich. When we go out there this weekend, we're going to be trying, there's a sandwich shop on the corner called Panino, and they just opened a new seafood restaurant called Bar La Côte, so I'll let you know about that. There's also a Figueroa Mountain Brewing Company location in Los Olivos, and they usually have live music on the weekends. And sit on those picnic tables, listen to live music, have wine or beer. You can't beat it. That's a good time. Let's go to John in L.A. John, hello. Hey, John.
Hey, Randy, how are you?
There he is. Hey, buddy.
Sorry, I'm on my Bluetooth.
All good. What do you got for us, John?
I know I can't be on Bluetooth when I'm on the radio talking to you. All right, Randy, I don't want to sound like a wine snob. Will I sound... Are people going to hate me if I say this?
No, there's nothing you could say.
Mondavi. Okay,
like Robert
Opus
Mondavi.
1 by Robert Mondavi.
Opus 1 by Robert Mondavi.
I know everyone's going to hate
that.
me.
Hey, you know what? Wine taste is subjective. People like what they like. And if that's what you like, then I'm going to look into it and check it out. John, thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it as always. 800-222-KABC. When we come back, we've still got to go to Los Alamos, which is actually the place where I got engaged. Well, we already talked about San Ynez. We'll get to Solvang and the Lompoc Wine Ghetto in Santa Rosa Road. We got a lot to cover and only a few minutes left. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. We're talking about the Santa Ynez Valley, Santa Barbara wine country. You go a little north of Los Olivos, you get to Los Alamos, where there's a great breakfast place, a bakery, Bob's Well Bread. Oh, it's so good. Winery I like there is Lumen, and on the road in between Los Olivos and Los Alamos is a place we just discovered, Dovecote. Great red blends there. And Bell's Restaurant, I've had a French dip there that's really good, and I believe on Saturdays they have barbecue in the back. If you go west from Los Olivos, you hit Solvang once you go through Santa Ynez. Solvang is the legendary Danish town. It is Little Copenhagen. They got Paula's Pancake House, which is a must, although get there early because you're going to be waiting, but they've got just as authentic of a Denmark breakfast as you're going to get. I really like this place, the Copenhagen Sausage Garden. There's a shop there called the Solvang Olive Press where I get a lot of fancy olive oil and balsamic vinegar. Great time to shop there. The Solvang Spice Merchant is a great place for teas and for spices. And one of our favorite wineries, Almarosa, moved their tasting room into Solvang. So a lot of reasons to go walk around Solvang. Also, near Christmas time, or even if it's not Christmas time, go visit the Julehus. It is a Christmas store 365 days a year. More coming up. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. Let's finish up our tour through the Santa Ynez Valley with some of the places that I know about. If you're in Buellton and you want to head Lompoc, that's a little west, there's two ways to get there, Route 246 or Santa Rosa Road. If you're going on Route 246, which is a regular highway, you'll see Foley, which we like. That's Pinot Noir, Chard, and Syrah. Deerberg, Pinot, Cab Franc, a lot of funky varietals. Great place to have a picnic. If you go on Santa Rosa Road, which is a lot smaller of a road, you got to drive slower. But oh boy, are you in for a treat, because they've got Peak Ranch, which is a beautiful property, a gorgeous place to have a picnic. They have one of our favorite Chardonnays, great Pinot, a great red blend called the Bellus Noir, Grenache, good picnic spot. Hilt, beautiful indoor tasting room, really good Chards, really good Pinots, and they have a brand called Homnata with some great red blends. But then you get to Lompoc, and inside Lompoc is the Wine Ghetto, which is an industrial park with a ton of different wineries. And some of the ones that are really good are Tyler, Ampelos, Flying Goat, which is a great place to get Pinot and bubbles. But my absolute favorite in there is Fiddlehead Cellars. Now, Fiddlehead's winery, where the grapes were grown, was on Route 7 on Santa Rosa Road on mile marker 7.28. But the tasting room is in the Lompoc Wine Ghetto. They're having that big party on Sunday, and I'm going to be there. I'm so excited. Fiddlehead has great Pinot Noir, Oregon Pinot, Rosé, Sauv Blanc, Gruner, and bubbles. Oh, their 728 bubbles are phenomenal. Bill in La Cañada, you got 30 seconds. Bill, hello.
Hey, Randy, you said at the beginning, wine drinking is something I did not start off my life with. Is that an accurate quote?
Yes, that is an accurate quote. I did not start drinking at birth.
So for the record, you do not have fetal alcohol syndrome, right?
Yes, that is true.
Just wanted to clarify that.
Fantastic. Yes, I realize I said that a little strange. And you know why? It's because I'm distracted because my cousins are here and we opened a great bottle of wine and I can't have a sip of it till this show ends. So let's go enjoy ourselves right now. I got to go drink some Fiddlehead. There's some of the places that I enjoy. Download the podcast and hear it all at KABC.com. It's the News Blitz on KABC.